Kilmar Abrego Garcia was living the American dream. Not the flashy kind, but the one built on hard work and hope. He had a loving wife, a U.S. citizen. They were raising a bright 5-year-old son, a little fighter who faced the world with autism and a hearing impairment. Kilmar, a legal resident under U.S. protection since 2019, was a dedicated first-year apprentice at Smart Local 100. He was building a future piece by piece for his family. Life wasn't easy, but it was good. It was theirs. Kilmar woke up every morning with a purpose. He put on his work boots, kissed his wife and son goodbye, and headed out to his job site. The clang of metal, the camaraderie of his fellow workers, the satisfaction of a hard day's work. These were the rhythms of his life. He was proud to be a sheet metal worker, proud to contribute to the country that had offered him safety and a chance at a better life. Kilmar had fled El Salvador years ago, escaping the clutches of brutal gangs that terrorized his community. The U.S. offered him refuge, a chance to live without fear. He embraced this opportunity with open arms, working tirelessly to create a safe and loving home for his family. He had a clean record both in the U.S. and El Salvador. His life was a testament to the power of hard work and the promise of the American dream. Little did he know, a storm was brewing, a bureaucratic nightmare that would shatter his life and expose the dark underbelly of the U.S. immigration system. A simple clerical error, a name on a list, would soon transform his world into a living hell. March 15, 2025. A date forever etched in Kilmar's memory. He was detained by ICE, ripped away from his job site, his tools falling silent. Confusion quickly turned to terror as he was informed he was being deported to El Salvador. "There must be some mistake," he pleaded. "I have protected status, my family is here." His words fell on deaf ears. The machinery of deportation once set in motion is a heartless beast. Kilmar became another statistic, another name on a manifest, his pleas for help drowned out by the cold indifference of the system. He was bundled onto a plane, his heart sinking with every passing mile, the distance between him and his family growing wider with every second. The irony was cruel, almost farcical. Kilmar, a man who had never set foot in Long Island, was accused of being an MS-13 gang member based on a confidential informant. Apparently wearing a Chicago Bulls hat and hoodie while inquiring about a job at Home Depot was enough to seal his fate. The error, as ICE later admitted, was theirs, a clerical mistake. But for Kilmar, the damage was done. He was trapped in a nightmare, caught in the crosshairs of a system that valued expediency over justice, where the presumption of innocence was a distant whisper. He was about to enter a world of unimaginable cruelty, a place where hope went to die, and the very government that had promised him sanctuary would turn a blind eye to his plight. El Salvador's Terrorism Confinement Center, or CICOT. Even the name sent chills down the spines of those unfortunate enough to know its reality. This wasn't a prison. It was a concrete jungle where despair thrived. Overcrowding was so severe that inmates like Kilmar slept in shifts, their bodies pressed against each other in the stifling heat. Food, when available, was meager, barely enough to sustain life. Violence, both from guards and fellow inmates, was a constant threat. Torture wasn't an anomaly, it was part of the routine. The air hung heavy with the stench of sweat, fear, and despair. Days bled into nights marked by hunger pangs, the fear of a guard's boot, and the crushing weight of injustice. Kilmar, a man who had never harmed a soul, was now surrounded by hardened criminals, his life reduced to a struggle for survival. The stories that seeped out of CICOT painted a grim picture of human rights abuses. It was a place where the rule of law was suspended, where the powerful could discard the inconvenient and the world would look away. Kilmar, a legal U.S. resident with a family, was now a ghost, lost in a system designed to break him. Back in the U.S., the absurdity of Kilmar's situation was not lost on anyone paying attention. News outlets reported on the case, highlighting the government's blatant disregard for human rights. ICE Field Office Director Robert Cerna even admitted the deportation was an error. Yet Kilmar remained trapped in CICOT. The White House, in a move straight out of a dystopian novel, doubled down on the lie. They branded Kilmar a dangerous MS-13 gang leader involved in human trafficking, offering no evidence to support their claims. The administration argued that U.S. courts had no jurisdiction because he was now in Salvadoran custody. The cruelty was staggering, the incompetence breathtaking. Legal battles ensued, with organizations like Smart Union fighting tirelessly for Kilmar's release. Judges issued orders, demanding answers, but the wheels of justice turned slowly, hampered by bureaucratic hurdles and political maneuvering. Kilmar's story is a chilling reminder of the brokenness of the U.S. immigration system. It is a system where a clerical error can condemn an innocent man to a living hell, where due process is casually disregarded, and where the pursuit of justice is met with indifference and deceit. This is not just a story about Kilmar Abrego Garcia, it is a story about a system that has lost its way, a system that has become a tool of oppression, and a system that is in dire need of reform.